Hey everyone.
Hey. Oh, I see some action in the chat.
Oh, people showing up.
Yeah.
Nekamichi.
Yeah, I think that even though you generally hate the YouTube chats, I think that they're improving them.
Yeah, I mean, this is all new to us. We're just trying this for the first time, but we think it's going to be really convenient, especially to just get this on YouTube. And, we did a test yesterday, and 25 people showed up without any tweets or anything. And most of those people didn't even know that we were doing this on YouTube. So it seems like the easiest way for us to reach our YouTube audience is through YouTube, for them to be aware that we're doing anything. So we're hoping to try this, though it might be a little confusing seeing, some regulars like you having a different name on here. We might not have any idea who you are. It might take us a while to learn, so.
Yeah, exactly. But you never know. But thank you for joining us.
Let's see, a few people are showing up. So really, this should be Coury's episode to play games for. Because he edited it, and he is the Genesis guy. He grew up with Sega Genesis. I did not. I kind of went through a little Genesis hating phase, I mean, I guess you kind of. I don't know about you. I mean, you were definitely a Sega kid, but I don't know if you really joined in the whole console war thing. Did you ever have any?
Oh, there was definitely some console war stuff going.
I mean,
in my neighborhood.
Did you have any animosity toward Nintendo at all? Like, were you kind of Nintendo kind of sucks?
I mean, I guess we like to pretend that there was, but I mean, I think that I liked playing Nintendo at other people's houses, and my brother had one.
Well, see, I didn't know that many people with Genesis, so I didn't have that many opportunities to it. It kind of felt like almost like a dirty, guilty pleasure playing it in like Sears or whatever. It's kind of like, ooh, I'm playing Genesis. This is the cool console. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not a cool guy. I wasn't a cool kid. I kind of really liked Sega's cool image. Like, it was like, that's not for me.
It's very loud and abrasive.
Yeah, it doesn't fit my personality. It just didn't feel like it was for me. So
right.
I definitely went through a phase where I was like, Genesis, they think they're so cool. But but obviously now that the generation's over and I have the money to afford old consoles that I didn't own when I was a kid, hindsight's 50-50, though the general Genesis library, I'm finding myself not necessarily liking the same games that are some of the big Genesis favorites, like Sonic. I mean, it's okay. I don't really like Sonic that much, but I've really liked kind of the small Genesis library I've been building up.
Yeah.
Now, I notice here, I'm looking at this screen here, I told you before, I haven't really seen any jail bars on my system before, and I see there's a little dark blue area there. I'm going to get up and look at my TV and see if I see any jail bars.
Okay.
There's no jail bars!
Well...
Here, let me just double check and make sure the image. See, the image moves on picture. If it was on standard, I would expect that it would. I would expect that it would be smudging them out, but
it's possible. I don't know.
So I don't have jail bars.
I see it on mine, and everyone, like, I had a lot of people tell me that the 32X gets rid of them, but all the stuff that I showed in the episode of jail bars was with the 32X on my system. I actually tried it without the 32X, hoping that they would be more pronounced, and they were exactly the same.
Well, I mean, I thought in the video they really showed up. Did you do any, like, color correction or anything to, like, make them stand out? I was surprised because they look really prominent to me, and I don't know exactly what model I have. I've got some high-definition graphics model, but they aren't. Yeah. I do not see anything in that dark blue there.
Yeah.
No, I don't. This is not going through a 32X. I do not have a 32X. This is just a high definition graphics.
You don't
Model
even have a
1.
Sega CD.
No.
If I was the one streaming it this week, we'd be doing two Genesis games and one 32X game and one Sega CD game. But as we were saying, like, I'm actually helping my mom move out of her house, which is my childhood home. She moves in less than a week. So I kind of explained it yesterday when we were kind of testing the stream, is that I am live on Skype via my childhood bedroom for the first and last time.
Yeah.
It's pretty empty in here. So it's kind of cool. This is the room where I played the Genesis and played the Master System, and where I did a majority of my game playing growing up. It's kind of sad, you know, but it's kind of cool that I'm able to do this. We weren't even sure if I was going to be able to make it for this stream.
Yeah.
My mom has very slow internet, so I was kind of nervous about it. I actually didn't know she had slow internet until I had to spend like half of Friday trying to like upload, or half of Thursday trying to upload some work that I did, and it was very difficult because they needed it quick, and I was getting such a poor upload speed.
So,
but regardless, like this room is empty, and except for there's a bed behind me, and that's the only thing, and my luggage is in the room.
So I haven't really played this game seriously since I played the Virtual Console version.
Oh yeah?
And so I don't remember, like, I think I made a very poor choice of weapon here. I don't remember exactly what the difference between is fixed shot and free shot the difference between moving while shooting and stopping while shooting?
It's been a really long time.
Because I feel like this boss would be a lot easier if I could stand still and shoot.
Right.
I don't think there's like a button combination that lets me stand still and shoot.
No, there is on the Game Boy Advance sequel. You can hold down the shoulder button and stay still. Did you know this game goes for over $100 now?
You're kidding.
Like, complete in box, over $100.
I got it for free from a friend like less than 2 years ago. Like, I was really excited because this was one of the first Virtual Console games that I got for the Wii, and was probably the Virtual Console Genesis game that I liked the most.
I could see that would be the case. Like, that is, it is absolutely one of the best games on the system, for sure.
Yeah, well, but really the Genesis games I most wanted to play were not on Virtual Console or any of the compilations, and those were Contra Hardcore and Castlevania Bloodlines, because I kind of saw those as like the lost Contra and Castlevania games, because I'm a huge fan of both of those.
Yeah.
And there was just no way to play them without a Genesis. And there
still isn't, which is crazy.
Because, Hardcore is one of the best Contra games. It's so good. Like, I was not really sure what to expect out of it. Like, I'd heard some people say it wasn't that good, actually, but it was pretty good. And another game that people kept encouraging me to play because they said, oh, this is totally your kind of game, you'd love it, Rocket Knight Adventures, which I'll play later. It is good. Like, it's not, it was made by Konami after the people who formed Treasure left. But
yeah, and you thought for the longest time it was
I thought it was made before they left because it's got that feel. Like, it's so off the wall. But it's so nuts. Like, the end of the game especially just gets so, it's like platinum / treasure level of bonkers. Like, it just gets so good. It's just crazy. And I was just, and the same thing with Contra Hardcore is that it just gets nuts. Now this is,
I think that a lot of the stuff in Contra Hardcore was taken as the team behind that probably viewed the creation of this game as kind of a challenge. Is there unlimited continues in this game?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this game is great, but I think
there's checkpoints too.
Yeah. But I think, honestly, some of the games that Konami made for the Genesis, now that I've played them, like, I think some of Konami's best games on Genesis are better than Treasure's best games.
Really? Yeah. I mean,
Contra Hardcore is good.
You should find some way to try Alien Soldier sometime.
What's that?
I think a lot of people consider that like Treasure's best game on the Genesis.
I don't think I even know of it.
Oh, it's on Virtual Console actually.
Really? I know.
It's pretty much like the entire game is pretty much a boss rush.
I mean, that's kind of what Treasure's known for.
Yeah.
That's the direction that Contra started to take too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been a long time since I finished this.
Yeah. I've never played it on hard mode.
Are you playing it on hard?
No, this is normal. For Rocket Knight, though, since I've played it relatively recently, it was probably like, I don't know, half a year ago? This guy kind of makes me think of he kind of looks like an Earthbound character. I'm not hurrying anything.
Well, thanks, John Bumpus. He says he wanted to tell us that he loves our videos and our attention to technical detail and high production values are what keeps him coming back. Thanks.
We really
we really strive for things to look as good as we possibly can. Yeah, I mean, we could play this on a flash cart, but Tri actually doesn't have any flash carts, but I have an EverDrive at home that I use from time to time. But it's weird, like with flash carts, like it's good for if I need to like grab some footage really quick. But it's weird that I cannot sit down and play a game seriously, like I'm gonna like play it all the way through, unless I'm like just playing the real cartridge that I own. I don't know, it's just like a mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hardcore into using the real thing, and I mean, I am a little jealous of Coury having the EverDrives for like capture purposes, because it would make a lot of things easier, but I don't know. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it. And of course that limits me in a lot of ways of what games I can show for like some of the RGB episodes and stuff. Like,
well, you did pretty fine with the NES one.
Well, yeah, because I've got like, I don't know, 80 NES games. I got like a lot of NES games, or maybe not as a lot, maybe not a lot compared to some people, but. Oh, I forgot. You can like jump across to the other side.
Yeah, can't you jump to the ceiling too?
Yeah. Let's try to figure out. We've still got set, I assume, for more interaction, less stream delay, right?
Yeah.
We should try to find out. I might die. If I die, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, the stream health, it says that it's in the yellow right now.
Okay.
I like the fact that we can both kind of access the information.
Yeah.
I mean, we could the other way too, but it's just, it works really well this way.
Ah, I'm missing help.
You've got 10 left, it looks like. Tell me when you die.
No, I've only got 3 left.
Oh, yeah, in this you still have 10.
Oh, I died.
Okay. I'm not timing it, but...
Hitting continue now. Now, this continue screen is real weird. Like, there's... And the option screen is like this, too. There's, like, these flickering lights in the background, and it looks like some sort of noise or
okay, you just
issue, but it's not. It's fine. It just looks really weird.
So I'm saying, like, it's probably about 30 seconds, it looks like. But I wonder if there's a way to speed it up. Oh, I definitely love the convenience of EverDrive. If I'm going to sit down and play through a game, like, I decide, like, I'm going to dedicate a bunch of time to it, I'd rather play on a real cartridge.
Yeah, like, I've never been able to take a game on emulator seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I don't mean like, you know, like official emulation. You know, that's fine. I need to really own a game for real, or else it's just like I can't. I don't know. Like, I even have the same sort of reaction to demos. Like, sometimes I'll, you know, really enjoy a demo. I'm like, wow, you know, that I didn't know I was gonna like that game, and now I'm kind of interested. But it's so hard for me to get into the context of the full real product, because it's like, okay, I'm doing this, but in the demo, but I don't really care because it's not like long term. This isn't affecting my progress in the final game, and so it's like I just can't get in the context of, oh, okay, you know, I'm building my character this way, or oh, this is interesting, I can do this way. I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain. But, you know, it's sort of a similar reaction to games. It's just, or, you know, emulated games. I just, like, I need to own it, or else, like, I can't get my brain into the frame of mind where I take it seriously.
Right.
I don't really know for sure if I like the game unless I'm playing the real game.
Yeah.
Also, I have no idea how to grab stuff when it's running away from me on this track. I don't like how the bombs are like in the same sort of orbs that...
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, okay, I finally got Seeker. Oh, what? Okay, I thought I lost it for a second. Laser Seeker, I'm pretty sure, was one of the best things. I think that's why I grabbed Laser at first, but otherwise I'm not impressed with the Laser. What does Reverse do? Oh, well, it's not bad. Probably pretty weak, though.
Well, the HD Retrovision has joined us.
Hey! You know, the guy and the Red General guy, I can't remember what game I was playing, but I was playing another game with a Red General guy.
M. Bison, Street Fighter 2, maybe?
Well, no, it wasn't Street Fighter 2, that's part of the story. Because I was like, I don't know why this guy makes me think of the Gunstar Heroes guy, and then someone else said, well, most people would say that makes you think of M. Bison from Street Fighter, and I'm like, well, I don't really play Street Fighter. I prefer my associations to be Gunstar rather than Street Fighter. What would you say? I think you've played more treasure games than I have. What would you say is like the most like completely bonkers game Treasure has made? I mean, this game is a little crazy, but I feel like relatively conservative, all things considered.
That's the most. Does it have to be a good game? Because I always thought the Stretch Panic was pretty bonkers.
What game?
But it wasn't very good. Stretch Panic on the PS2.
There's so many treasure games.
It's not a good game.
I don't really know, you know?
Let me look at a list.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I mean, there's a lot that I haven't played as well. When it comes to like my favorite game of theirs, I want to say that. I mean, Ikaruga is pretty much up there. Like that might be the top, but I don't know. Sin and Punishment 2
Sin and Punishment 2 is probably my favorite. It's holy crap, is that game good?
Yeah. I mean, we go on and on about it every time it comes up.
Oh my gosh!
Like that, it might be the best.
It might be the best game on the Wii.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I know when we did like our top lists.
Like I said, Mario Galaxy was my favorite game of the generation. But I don't know, some days it's just like, man, it might be Sin and Punishment.
Yeah.
Like, and when I first played the original Sin and Punishment on Virtual Console, first I was like, yeah, it's alright. But it was just one of those things, the more I played it, the more I loved it.
Yeah. But Sin and Punishment 2 was just like, I immediately was into it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find yourself wishing you had gone with the stationary shooting?
Yeah. Which is weird because in Contra, I'm normally not into that.
What else is good from them? But I mean, Ikaruga is pretty amazing.
Oh, I mean, I've never played it, but I mean, it looks good.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Nintendo Cade. He says, I'm a huge fan of your RGB series, and your channel is amazing. I got to learn a lot about my FrameMeister because of you guys. Well, I think that when we always say that the reason we made the FrameMeister videos is we made the videos we wish existed when we first got into it.
Yeah.
That was a huge incentive. Even though, you know, looking at our first video, it's very different than the series would later become.
Oh, yeah, like...
I mean, it's technical, but not nearly as technical.
Yeah. Jeez, I'm doing really bad.
But yeah, I mean, when we first started getting into it, there's a lot of reading material on it, but it was so dense that we went through a lot of trial and error trying to figure it out. Spent a lot of money on things that...
I mean, really, I like to think that it was kind of what got the channel started, too. Because we were kind of like, wow, like, it wasn't just the FrameMeister, it was like all integrating that into like a capture and streaming setup.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, we've kind of got like this really good recording stuff, we should like make videos.
Yeah. Hand of Jack asks us if we have any thoughts on MGS5. I think that we probably have some thoughts on MGS5.
I mean, I don't have a lot of thoughts about it if I really want to play it.
Yeah. That's kind of the same way, you know, like we're pretty good at avoiding spoilers or anything like that.
Like,
so,
my hope, you know, neither of us have really found a lot of time for dedicating to modern games, especially recently now that we're trying to increase our video output.
Yeah.
And, And like that's just like one of the games I would really like to dedicate.
Yeah, I mean we're both playing it day one.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to be working on RGB 204. I think I'm going to need to be working on that unless I'm like, I mean, that comes out less than 2 weeks after. That comes out less than 2 weeks, I think, after
the one you're working on.
Well,
we got your Friday one, then we have a re-res, and then we have 204, and then I actually have a video on the 11th, I think.
Yeah, so I don't like. I would love to just take like 3 days off of life and do nothing but Metal Gear Solid 5. That would feel so good. But
yeah.
I don't think I really can. I mean, it's less so for work reasons and more so for my life and gaming reasons. Like, I don't think the Super Nintendo episode is going to be that hard. Like, it's not going to be as dense as the Sega episode because, you know, unlike Sega, Nintendo didn't release all the peripherals and stuff, you know.
Right.
Some things, you know, the CD ended up in the prototype phase, obviously, but...
Right. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much just like the one chips and like the remodel.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you've looked at the script.
I kind of glanced at it a little bit today.
I've got a pretty good bit of it written. I mean, obviously, we're going to need to tweak it and stuff, but...
Yeah. We do have a bit of an epic coming this Friday, though.
Yeah. I'm nervous about getting it done in time, but I have to.
It's not what anybody is expecting.
No. Well, I think someone in this chat I think knows what it is.
yeah, I think so as well. And if you do know, please don't spoil it.
Yeah.
We can stream in 60 frames per second. At least I know that I can when I'm at home.
Yeah,
because I have fiber internet, but
my internet's not as good as Coury's, so
Yep, the SNES Junior with a mod does give you pretty much like the best. Although it's pretty close to my one chip.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to. We've never really done like a direct comparison, you know?
Yeah. And now this is going to be our chance to do it. But Tri does have a modified SNES Junior.
Yeah, so we
both have a first model, and then I have a one chip.
We need to like bypass our switchers and do a recording of the exact same thing with the exact same frame ISO settings so we can see what the difference really is. Because that's something that I don't know what to say about in the script yet, because everyone says that the Mini is sharper, but I mean, from some of the pictures you've shown me of your one chip, you have the third one chip, right?
No. The third one chip has like a weird sync issue. It needs modding for a sync.
Right, but apparently it's sharper.
Maybe it's very possible. I mean, like mine looks really good, but I mean, it'll be interesting because we'll have to like match our settings, and then you can A/B them that way. It's gonna be fun. I mean, that one's 3 weeks away. And our current schedule is that we're going to have an RGB episode every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Is it every 3 weeks? Yes. And then every 3 weeks we also have a re-res. So sometimes it might be a little bit of time. I don't know.
Currently, the way that we've got our schedule planned is, man, I'm nowhere close to killing this thing. I've made a poor choice of weapons and a poor choice of, I think, shooting style.
Yeah, well, you've almost hit a half hour on this game, so you can switch to something.
Well, I've pulled 3 games off the shelf.
Yeah. Generally, when we do this, for people who haven't seen our stream, is we stream for 2 hours. and it keeps us moving along. There's no real downtime.
So,
like to think of this, the episode debrief, as a bonus material for our newest episode.
So I've got Wonder Boy and Monster World.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Revenge of Shinobi.
I think you should.
And Rock and Eye Adventures.
Okay, Revenge of Shinobi, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, let's do that.
I am a big fan of Revenge of Shinobi. That's cool. So I can actually type in change the name of the game, like the change. Is it?
Revenge of Shinobi, I still have not beaten this. I was kind of...
You're pretty close, I think.
I don't know if I was that close. I did several runs of it. Right around when I got it, which, gosh, at this point, just maybe almost a year ago.
I'll be interested. I saw the Spider-Man name, so I don't know which version you have.
I think I've got the one with Spider-Man in it. FYI.
You do have Spider-Man, but that's like, it could be... The difference is the first version has Spider-Man, Rambo, and Godzilla in it, and none of them are credited.
Mm.
And I think the second one removed Rambo and Godzilla, but kept Spider-Man because...
I guess I don't have the first version because it's Sega Classic.
Yours is the Sega Classic.
You can't find... I've looked and looked before finally being like, fine, I'm just going to get this version. Because I saw this all over the place. It's dirt cheap, but the original version that's inside this box is it's hard to find, and this is so cheap. I was like, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah,
but I did a video. There's a video on the channel for Shinobi 3. I did not expect to like that game nearly as much as I did. I just happened to get a copy, and it's really good. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to play Revenge of Shinobi, which I didn't know that the previous game was called Revenge of Shinobi at the time, but now I know. It's different, but I still enjoy it. It's definitely not as versatile, but... So I wanted to point out here on the options screen, me not being a kid that grew up with Genesis doesn't really know what to make of this controller all the time. And some of the first Genesis games I played, once I got my system, default jump was B. And that just made so much sense to me, because I'm thinking, of course, you jump a lot, so you want that to be your center button, And so then, Nintendo style then would be, move your finger from the left of there to attack. So I like attack being on A. And then I sort of make C like my select or special or whatever. It does not make any... You're into what? Jump C, right?
I'm a big C to jump, B to attack, and A for whatever special moves.
See, that just doesn't make any sense to me, because your home position is... I think
C was always my home position.
I think home position should be jump. So then it's the shortest reach to the other two buttons. I don't know. Just makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I always made, like ninjutsu, like you're not using it all the time. I feel like if it's all the way over on A, you can, you won't accidentally bump it.
Yeah, and I have done stuff like that.
So Arioka is curious why we're using a XRGB mini frame isotope scaler instead of a Sony PVM or another CRT for our RGB series. Well, I think that we use the XRGB because these days most people are interested in how to get their video to look good on their HD TV.
Right. I mean, let's face it. You probably need to own an HD TV. You're not going to. I mean, CRTs are going to be dying off, whether we like it or not.
Right.
And I like, I've got a CRT in my setup more just for fun, but I don't really use it a lot. And I am planning to get a PVM, but like I don't know, like the CRT look, I like it from a I like it from a, man, I forget how I kill these guys.
You like when you first started, you like walked right into that guy's attack, the first enemy.
But I used to have,
remember, you can do the flip, you can do the double.
I've gotten to like the 5th level in this game, but I don't remember at all what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna reset.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But what were we talking about? Oh,
using a FrameMeister versus a CRT.
I like the CRT look. Like, just, we've done. I haven't really done it so much lately, but we've done a lot of shots where we just get like off screen of a CRT. I like that look.
Yeah.
For a video standpoint, but for a point where I'm actually playing the game, I don't know. Like scan lines and all that stuff. Like it's not essential to my retro experience.
Yes. But I like the scan lines. I like CRTs. I have a PVM also. Like I have it set up where I can play on a PVM and record on the FrameMeister at the same time. So I kind of go back and forth, but it's very much, the PVM is in its own area. So it's not as much of a comfy couch kind of situation. Remember, you got the double jump. Don't forget your double jump. With your double jump and flip. I'm seeing you trying to kill this guy with the samurai guy.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I do like scan lines. I especially like scan lines. I like scan lines on the PVM more than I like them, like the fake ones that the XRGB Mini does. It's just right now, I think that a lot of people are. It's very obvious to them, like how bad classic games look on an HD TV. So obviously, there's like more interest in making their old games look good on their new TV.
And I think too, like, I don't know, like I say, I never had that good of a TV growing up, and I don't know, it's that kind of stuff is not essential to it. And two, I think I have gotten used to you see, like, we have, like, pixelated avatars and stuff online. We've gotten used to looking at like sprite sheets and people are used to seeing like screenshots of games made in emulators and stuff, and we've just gotten used to that look, or at least I have. And so it's to me it's I don't know, that in my mind has become the default view of a game. And I know a lot of people think that's heresy, but I like that clean pixel look. And two, I've got it. I might play on this a little in the Super Nintendo episode. I don't know. Man, I'm bad at this game.
I was gonna say, you're not
like really bad.
I just like recently played through it just to see which version I had, and I like played through to like the 5th level without even dying.
Well, you play it as a kid,
Yeah.
I mean, I can do the same in Mario 3. But I like the clean. I like the clean look. I like the CRT look, but it's like I say, it's not essential to my experience.
Yeah, for the samurai guys, try doing the flip and throwing your like the stream of.
Oh, but that doesn't that waste like 10 shurikens?
It's like 8 or something like that.
I don't know what that means. It's fair, man. And two, I feel like I don't know. Like, I feel like in some ways, like, giving into the, CRT obsession is like you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because someday it's going to be really hard to have a working CRT. So I feel like let's just get used to it now.
Yeah.
And two, like, when we play, we don't turn scan lines on the FrameMeister because we're recording, and recordings don't really work. Scan lines don't work that well on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's like a big thing.
And so why, if we're going to have to play so much without scan lines anyway, just for recording, like, just get used to it and be happy without it, I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I never had to get used to it, because for me, this is how I've always imagined games should look at their best. And scan lines, for me, have never been a part of it. I don't... there's a certain appeal, but it's just not... It's just like, oh, that's neat, and it's not something I need on all the time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's like a big thing. It's like scan lines on YouTube, just like the compression just like does not work with it. The only way you can really get it to work is if you're constantly like watching in full screen. I can't believe it took you that long to get through that first one.
I know, me neither. Like, oh my gosh, I've got a lot of work to do for actually beating this game. I don't remember starting off this bad at it either. Like, when I first got it. Like, yeah. I think I got to like the 5th level. Like, it was, like I was kind of climbing up a skyscraper. And there were like, I think there were like some gun turrets or something that were kind of causing me some trouble.
Did you ever notice that this game shares a lot of sound effects with Streets of Rage?
I did not. I mean, I only played through Streets of Rage for the first time pretty recently.
Next time you get a chance to go back to it, you should check it out. It has like the same 1-up sound. It shares a lot of the same.
Yeah, well, anyone here not watching who doesn't know about...
But you gotta go across. You gotta cross the courtyard there.
Oh, you're probably watching something that happened forever ago. Wow, we really haven't gained much in terms of improving the stream delay, I don't think.
Yeah. But, like, this is definitely like a better way to connect with our audience, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, on the backloggery, which, for those who are here from YouTube might not know about me doing stuff with the backloggery, and we do streams there on Monday nights for 4 hours starting at 7 Eastern. But for that, we stream on Hitbox there, because it's just an embedded stream. We don't use the Twitch chat, so the stream delay on Hitbox is so much improved from what is on Twitch, and apparently better than here. But that's like our main concern there. So
you can hit down and C to drop through, or down and jump to drop through. I mean, obviously you did.
Yeah,
you did.
I mean, now I wish that this like blocking thing that you do, I think you only do that when you have POW up.
Right.
I wish that was a thing that always happened, because it's an interesting mechanic, but the fact that you can only use it when, like, to me, it just seems like something that I'm almost never going... Yeah, you can only use it when you're moving, but it just seems like something I'm never going to really have an opportunity to use, because I'm too terrible to... Oh, that's right, you can crouch and... I'm just, like, too terrible to, like, actually get to use that.
This was...
You sort of have an interesting story surrounding this game.
Yeah, kind of. really quick, I just want to say hi to Super Derek and Game Dave, two of our favorite channels who've graced us with their appearance in our chat. Okay, so when I got this game, like, I didn't even know it existed. Actually, I probably knew it existed, but I just didn't really have an interest in getting it. And I really wanted Golden Axe. And my mom was traveling, and was going to go to a place where there's a Toys R Us nearby and get me Golden Axe. And they did not have Golden Axe, so she bought this instead. And I mean, I love Golden Axe. But I think I love this a little more. Yeah, actually.
But at the time, if I'm not mistaken, you were kind of mad. Like...
Oh, I was very disappointed at the time because I really wanted that Golden Axe. But I definitely like this more than Golden Axe. It's just I don't know. It's more of a classic, I think. Even though, I love Golden Axe, and I want to.
I mean, I'm not really a brawler guy. Golden Axe, Altered Beast.
But Golden Axe isn't as much of a brawler as, a typical brawler. It's weird. But it's a lot of fun, especially when it came out. It was, a lot of fun. I had my friends come over and...
How am I so bad at this game? I'm
kind of amazed.
I mean, this is a lot harder than it was just a few months ago.
Yeah, maybe you should just put it on easy.
No, I can't do that. I have to do default settings. It's my rule. I used to not make that hard rule. During the PS2 and GameCube days, I got.
You're always playing on the default settings.
Yeah, I have a hard rule now about default settings.
I mean, I generally go for default settings most of the time, but I don't have a lot of shame if I have to go easy sometimes. I mean, it depends on the game. If it's something that I'm really excited for, I would never put it on easy because I want it to last for as long as possible.
You want the real experience, the intended experience.
Right.
Pretty hard. I mean, and the Shinobi 3 just gives you so much more flexibility and what you can do. It just gives you so many more options and your ninja-ing. And maybe it's because it hadn't been that long since I had played Shinobi 3. Maybe I was more in the mindset, even though this is quite different.
Well, Shinobi 3 adds a lot more moves, and it's generally an easier game, I think.
It's still pretty tough.
Yeah. But I think it's more fast action, and this is a little bit more methodical.
I can't remember what my strategies were, and I definitely had a way of getting through this level. It wasn't that bad, but this is hard.
That's all right. Only got 10 more minutes of it.
I mean, I'm sad though.
If you can, I can't believe that you've died this many times on the first level.
I don't know. I'm feeling disheartened right now because I've been looking forward to actually finishing this game, and I'm it feels like I got uphill climb ahead of me.
So, do you think that the enemies are supposed to be robots? I just think it's more all ninjas should explode into.
Oh, I don't think they're robots. I didn't really think twice about them exploding because it's a video game. I mean, stuff explodes in video games. I mean, I guess the Foot Clan and Ninja Turtles, I guess those really are robots, I think.
Yeah. Well, they in the cartoon they are, for sure. Right. Dustin Gibbons says, if a person doesn't explode when you kill them, you aren't killing them right. That's what video games taught him. I could see that.
Well, I got...
So a big thing for me with this game, I used to have not an issue, but I always wanted, I think that it was because Ninja Gaiden kind of spoiled me, is that I always wanted to use swords more in ninja games than like the throwing stars or shurikens. And I always remember it like kind of being like kind of a bummer when this was all like pretty much like shuriken based.
Yeah. I feel like it was a lot easier to make use of your... Still, I mean, I got further.
Oh, you even got some life there, too.
Yeah,
you're like right at the end, and you're going back, and...
Is there a checkpoint at the boss? I mean, not that you would know.
I know, like, I can't even imagine dying on the first level.
Like Shinobi 3, like you could like, I love like a little like dash, and then you get close to the enemy, you pull out their sword.
Yeah.
You can't do that in this at all.
Well, what's interesting is that Shinobi Legions, the Saturn version, which I'll be doing a video on in the future, you're pretty much completely sword based. So after this, the chat wants Wonder Boy next, as a heads up.
Okay.
Wonder Boy.
AKA Monster World 3.
Hope to do a video on that one day. For those that don't know, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Wonder Boy makes an appearance in every single RGB episode. It's kind of an in-joke.
Even the NES one.
Yeah, even the NES one. It's just because we think that it's one game that looks really, really great in RGB.
So it's easy, you know, because you lose a little bit of it by the time it's on YouTube, you know? So
yeah.
I feel like something that's just got those bright colors and sharp edges, you know, because the Genesis shows it off well, and of the Genesis games that I own, it's probably just the easiest to show off because it's got bright colors and clean lines, and it just it's got a simple look, and you can just see where the benefits of RGB are really clearly, and we just kept reusing that shot because we both love that game so much, and we've made new shots of it since then, but at first we were just kind of reusing the same shot. But we love that game a lot, and it just looks good, and so we were like, okay, now we need to make that a joke that it's in like every RGB episode, regardless of, even if it's a system specific. I've already figured out how I'm working it into the Super Nintendo one, so look forward to that.
So Dustin Gibbons wonders if we've ever played Dynastic Hero. Actually, if you go and check out our episode that I did on the PCE Memories Turbo Duo Memories box set, it's like a reproduction, like a high quality reproduction of several like expensive Turbo CD games. And the one that I did a video on included Dynastic Hero, which I did play. The character designs are awful in it. The music's not as good, but other than that, it's like it's the exact same game. Oh, now you're going and just you're using your magic because.
Oh no, I'm stuck.
Yes, you're having enough night.
I do think that Sega games, like, they play differently from Nintendo games. Like, it's a different mindset.
Yeah. Jose A asks us if we use EverDrives at all or prefer original cartridges. Try only uses original cartridges. I use EverDrives for capturing footage if I need to capture footage from something I don't have. But generally, if I'm sitting down to play through a game, like play it for real, then I'm always playing an original cartridge.
Man, I don't remember. I remember I had a really hard time getting.
I just like always spam a flip jump from up where you're standing. Or the flip attack.
I'm gonna run out of shurikens if I do that, though.
That's right, Ariel. The first level of Renja Shinobi is not this hard. I think that maybe Trey's just nervous tonight.
I'm bad at the game. I mean, let's just say that. It's true. See now.
But you made it really far.
I'm out of shurikens though. So like, how am I supposed to fight this guy now? You wouldn't know. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna have to get up in his face to see what happens. Nope.
All right, you can move on to Wonder Boy if you want to.
Well, I mean,
it's 10 o'clock.
I think let me see if I use my.
Oh, that almost worked though.
I'm going to use my ninjutsu and just like get all up in them.
Lou Billy, actually the connector, Lou Billy says that, we forgot to add that the 32X to Genesis connector also needs to be RGB capable too. But actually, like, it just uses the same connector. Like
well,
that,
it's
no matter
you
what.
can't like send composite to that if I'm not mistaken.
The 32X.
Right. Like, it's sending RGB. That's what it was always doing, even though you... Yeah, I killed him. I beat a level!
I can't believe it.
I can't either. Actually, I can't believe it was that... man. I am feeling disheartened about my future prospects with finishing this game. This is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I mean, I beat Shinobi 3. I did a video on it.
The 32X of Genesis connector isn't just sticking into the slot. It'll work if you just put it into the slot, but it will, and the games will play, but it will be missing like a bunch of like different graphics. Like for instance, like Star Wars Arcade, you can see the actual cockpit, but you cannot see any of the polygons. That waterfall there would later be used in Castle of Illusion.
Really?
Yeah.
And
also Sonic.
Castle of Illusion was later than...
Yep.
So I've got my Genesis controller. My Genesis is like kind of far away from me, so I've got a controller extender. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if I just knock it just slightly, like certain button inputs stop working.
Really?
Like, for example, the down button wasn't working there.
Lou Billy, you do need like a 32X connector to, or Genesis to 32X connector. It needs like a cable. Like we talk about it briefly in the video where I just show, where I say make sure you get one based on what model Genesis 1. Zach H, we do have shirts that you can order through our
Spreadshirt.
Yeah, Spreadshirt.
That's
and
what
the
I'm
link is
right
like
now.
if you just go to the channel, like the main channel page, you'll see like a whole bunch of different little links. And there's like one is like a little blue heart, and there's Spreadshirts there. And if you buy one, you will be the only other person besides Try and I to have one. Because we are the only people that have purchased them at this point.
I don't remember. You know, I was playing this just yesterday during our stream test. I played through this on Virtual Console, and I've never really put time into it after I got a cart. So it's been a long time since I've really played it. I don't really remember what I was doing. Do I have to take the ocarina? Oh, I lost the ocarina. I have to go get it
Yeah,
back.
you gotta pick it up, and then you gotta... Arioko says, I want to get the FrameMeister, but have a concern. I've heard of an image issue with games that have both high and low resolutions, like Symphony of the Night for the Saturn. Is that true? That is true. When a lot of games from the PlayStation and Saturn era switch back and forth between 480i and 240p.
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but more than
I mean, but several games do.
I think the most notable example is Chrono Cross, because...
Yes. It has to... Well, hang on, let me kind of explain what it does. What it does is that when the image switches, it has to, like, reprocess it, and it has to re-handshake with your television, so it'll go, like, you'll get a black screen for, like, 5 seconds sometimes. And if a game switches resolutions a whole bunch, specifically Chrono Cross does, every time you go into the menu in Chrono Cross, it switches to 480i, so it pretty much makes Chrono Cross unplayable.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting seeing, you know, because it got, like, high-resolution character models and the status screen and stuff, so it's pretty cool, but, yeah, But Chrono Cross is the only game I have where it's really an issue. I mean,
right.
my PS1 collection is not super robust, but it's the only game I have that's really an issue. Wild Arms 1 and 2 have 480i title screens. I haven't really run across any other games that have 480i title screens. That's the only thing in the Wild Arms games is 480i. Everything else is 240p. So it's just because it has to change resolution. On the N64, I have Cruising World, which I've done a video on that series. And Cruising World was interesting because the menus were in 480i. And again, it's very rare. 480i is also very rare on the N64. But the menus are in 480i, the gameplay's in 240p. So every time I went to every time I went to a race, the race actually started before the FrameMeister resynced, which, I mean, we're only talking a couple of seconds, but, you know, it just got into the action that quick in that game for whatever reason. And so I had to sort of train myself to just remember to hold the go button when after I selected the course.
Right.
So, you know, not ideal, but it's so rare. I mean, your chances of running into that on, like, a, you know, Super Nintendo Genesis, whatever game, I mean, it's almost certainly not going to happen. You use an example of it in the Genesis episode of the Sonic multiplayer mode.
Oh, right. Well, that's just what happens when it...
Right, it like actually kind of fails to do that altogether.
Right. In the future, we will do a video on, like, the downfalls and, like, shortcomings of the FrameMeister. I mean, there's definitely, like, that's, like, the main one.
That's the main one. But it's, again, it's, like, it's so few games. Like,
yeah.
Symphony of the Night...
And they also added something in a recent firmware that will make it so that it will delay the re-handshaking. And I wish there was a way you could just make it so it wouldn't try to recalibrate for the new resolution on a resolution change.
Yeah, well, I wish there was a way to force 480i to
240p.
To 240p, yeah.
Yeah, if it would just keep it at 240p, like process it the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something they'll add in the future, because obviously they can make it do that. If they can delay it, like, why make it do that?
I guess I had to talk to the fairy princess again.
Could you play it on your PS2 forced into 480p? There's no way to... But you gotta go to the... in between the statues, and she'll tell you. You want me to look up what you need to... what buttons you need to press?
Well, I think I need to get the ocarina and then go back.
You already got it.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, you have to.
I think I had to get the like. It wasn't there when I went to the cave, but I think I have to have the ferry with me.
But there's no way like the PS2 can't port PS1 games to 480.
And
I think that maybe there's a way to do it that's like. I've seen people like force games to 480p, like PS2 games, by like ripping the image and modifying like the hex, whatever it is, of the like the coding of it to force it to 480p for games that don't support it. But I don't think there's a way to do it with.
Yeah, like PS1 on PS2 is pretty darn faithful. I mean, it's 240p and everything.
Yeah.
Now the Ocarina's not here, but I don't see it in my inventory either.
It's not there even after you got her?
No.
Maybe you might need to talk to somebody.
Maybe. Maybe that's it, because I died and I don't remember what I did before saving.
Yeah. Arioka, I think that it's something that they could fix with a patch, with like a firmware. I mean, they just gotta make it so that it doesn't try to recalibrate if you just want to turn that setting off. But I don't know if they would ever bother to do it. I mean, it's possible. It would be really cool if they did. But I don't know if they will.
So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with me not having jail bars.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I have like some magical revision or something.
Maybe you have like the one with the best audio and no jail bars.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sometimes a little suspicious of the audio on it, but I don't know that much about the sound to really tell on my own.
Just go and talk to everybody.
Yeah, they said go talk to Sonia. I should buy this medicine. So this is basically a Metroidvania game, if that's what you want to call it. You know, just large interconnected world. Okay, this lady, I assume, is Sonia. She told me she lost her ocarina inside a cave.
There you go.
See, this is my problem when I'm streaming. I so rarely actually pay attention to what NPCs say.
Yeah.
Like, I talk to them, and, like, I don't know, like, even if I'm not really paying attention to the chat, my mind is just
usually,
so divided.
This is, like, a little different, like, this stream is because a lot of times we're playing games that we did, like, we played a lot more.
Right.
Recently.
We're gonna be playing a game while we still remember, like, what we're doing.
Now you're saving. There, like, is there a way to download an unmodded PS3 to get it not to glitch? Like, oh, how Final Fantasy V like messes up like the pause screen or the status screen, and I think that they fixed that in later revisions of the Final Fantasy V in the. It was an anthology, I think it was in.
I want to say every once in a while, because I did a replay of Final Fantasy V on the PS3. I want to say I had a little bit of an issue every now and then.
Okay. Because I know that there's, like, I think that I heard that the Greatest Hits version fixes it.
Oh, no. I just realized the ferry's not
debating
with me.
whether
I don't know what happened.
Stick with S-Video since my HD TV has S-Video ports, or go RGB with component or FrameMeister. You know, S-Video looks really good. Like, that was kind of the first thing that we tried is S-Video on our HD TV.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using I was using S-Video for a long time.
Yeah.
And like at work, we were using S-Video a lot as well, and Coury had never, like, I actually, I don't know if you want to keep it necessarily, but I wrote a little bit about that in the Super Nintendo script.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I didn't see that yet.
Yeah, because I actually, like, I know a lot of RGB snobs will turn up their nose at S-Video, but I think S-Video is pretty good. You should not feel bad about using S-Video.
Yeah, it does look,
I think composite to S-Video is like the biggest jump in all of video quality. Like, it's pretty huge. Oh, it's the ocarina.
Still confused. Oh, it's Ben from Retrode DC. He's sending out your item tomorrow. We love the Genesis video.
Oh.
Well, thanks. We're
Excellent.
excited to give it a test.
B-A-B-A-B-C-B.
You want me to look it up so you can just do it when you need to get to it?
Yeah, or just write that down. It's B. Oh wait, here's another thing. Here's another thing. Well, what's this for? I wasn't paying attention.
There's 3 of them.
That's awful. A, B, C, B, C. Oh my gosh, I'll never remember this. B. That's very good. I'm very good. Well, that was not a problem at all, Ben. I was actually a little worried. I'm glad that you've let us know, because I was like, do I still need to keep my eye out for this? I don't know. But it's good because you can send it right away when we were first talking about, because I was on vacation.
Oh, Zach bought a T-shirt. Thank you. You're the third person in the world to have that.
So if I go back here, will the fairy?
Okay, so the PS2 can force PS1 games into other resolutions using a homebrew GS mode selector. But I come across, the menu gets blown up larger than the screen. Interesting.
Huh. That's funny.
So somebody says that they just found a connector for the NES that outputs SCART. It's probably just passing the composite signal over SCART, is what it's doing. I mean, to get RGB out of it, you need to do, like, there's no other way to do it besides the NES RGB mod.
Yeah. Like, for example, like, if you watch the Sync episode, we explain how SCART is really just set up to carry many signals, including composite, and sometimes the sync signal is derived from a composite signal that's already going through the cable. So that's what's happening.
Okay.
Oh, French NES?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is...
the composite signal, right?
It's my understanding that it's just composite video. Oops, I did not save my adventure. I need to fix that.
Monster World, Ben says, Monster World has some of the best use of color on the Genesis, other than Ranger X.
And that's why we use it in every RGB episode.
Yeah.
I think I can buy some armor that I don't have right now. Should have bought that before I saved. I could buy the spear, but... oh wait, I don't even have the shield. Maybe I should just buy the spear instead of the shield.
You get the shield out of that too. Because you can spin it. If you hold down the attack button...
oh, I don't remember that.
You have a discriminating eye.
Small spear. Do I have... let's do this equipped. I can't seem to spin the spear. Oh, there you go. I guess I'll hold up. It doesn't work for long, though. Oh, I have to hold the button, or keep tapping. Cool. See, Zach H asking about how we got so knowledgeable. We did not start off very knowledgeable.
Yeah, like, a lot of trial and error.
This has all been within the past, like, 2.5 years. Like, we were just like... I almost, like, didn't believe it when I was, like, starting to read this stuff. Like, it just took me so long to be like... What? This doesn't sound right. You can't get this out of the actual systems. You know, it was just a process of reading stuff and then figuring it out for ourselves, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, okay, I need to get the ocarina clip. But, like, in, like, the Sync episode, for example, like, that was, in a lot of ways, we did that episode, or I did anyway, like, so I could learn about it. Like, so I was just like, I don't understand this stuff. I need to understand it better. And researching to do an episode on that was the motivation I needed to learn it and understand better. Okay,
do you need the code here?
Yeah, I think I do.
What? BABABCB.
Xian plays. Okay, B. What? But I can't play very well. B
A B A B C B.
You play beautifully.
Here's a riddle for you guys. Name one game that used 480i on the Super Nintendo. In-game and not menus and stuff.
Ooh, I do not know. I do not. I know that Super Nintendo has a 480i mode, but I do not have any such games. Oh, I don't know what door, what this is for this door.
Oh, it's hang on. It is ABC BC AB.
ABC. Wait.
BC.
Oh no, hold on. So here, I'll tell you when to go. You tell me one at a time. Oh, I was too slow. It doesn't give you a very small window where you actually... What's the first note?
A,
okay.
B, C.
Okay, well, you'll hear me say... I'll say A, and then I want to hear you say the rest, okay?
Okay.
A.
B, C.
Oh, no, you gotta do it fast.
Okay, A, B, C.
A, B... Okay, it's A, B, C. I'll say A, B, C, and then you... A, B, C...
B, C,
no,
A, B.
You have to keep it up. B, C, B, C, A, B...
Yeah.
ABC,
ABC, BC, AB.
Okay, I'll just have to... A, B, C, B, C, A, B. Oh, I play beautifully.
Nice. Oh, do you have a ColecoVision modded for VGA?
That is an interesting question. First of all, I wasn't aware you could do it for VGA, but, it might be a ColecoVision episode sometime in the future.
It is RPM Racing that it runs. You can tell straight away, but the game sucks.
Huh. Okay, what's the last one?
The last one is A C C A B A B.
A C C A B A B. That's easy.
Yeah.
A C C A B A B. Beautiful.
The final boss in this game is really hard. When it first came out and I had it, I actually bought it when it came out, and then I played through it, loved the game, and could not beat the last boss. And back then, Electronics Boutique had a return policy that you could just return games if you didn't like them.
Really?
And I returned it because I didn't like it.
Well,
stupidly.
When did you get it again?
I think that I got it again when I was in college. And then I got rid of that version to get it on on Virtual Console, and then I rebought the cartridge. It's the Myconid. You gonna die? Gonna...
it almost looked like I was going to.
What RGB monitors do you guys have? Tri does not have an RGB monitor. I have a Sony PVM 20L5, which actually does up to 1080i, which is kind of cool. I mean, like, I would never really use it for 1080i.
I'm hoping to get a PVM, I would say, before the end. Oh, wow, that potion recovered like 1 heart. Are you serious? I'm hoping to get one before the end of the year. There's a store not far from me that I understand sells them. I believe they focus. Oh, let's see. The village is. I didn't realize where I was. There's a store that I believe focuses. It's more like they're selling like medical supplies and stuff, but like, see, people like that sell like monitors and stuff like, well,
you just went back in.
They don't know that people like us want it, you know?
Yeah.
So they don't know who they could sell. They don't know who they could really sell it to.
Right. But I think like some people, like, I mean, people are starting to understand that they can sell them for a little bit more. Are there other alternatives for upscalers with the same quality as XRGB Mini? There are other upscalers, but nothing that is kind of all-encompassing as we found the Mini to be.
I mean, it's the only, like, seriously good one that we've used. Like, Coury's used a crappy one.
Yeah.
And there are others that are supposedly better, but maybe not that much better, and they're more expensive. So FrameMeister generally seems to be considered the best performance to cost ratio.
Right.
You know, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive if you really compare it to some of the others. So, and it looks awesome.
Is it worth spending a bunch of money on a PVM? I would see if you can find one for really cheap first. You should try, like, see if hospitals are getting rid of theirs. Maybe like television stations. That's where I got mine. Is a friend of mine works at a local news station, and they had a bunch of PVMs. They were just thrown out, and he called me and said, They said I could take these if I wanted them, and then that's how I got mine.
Yeah, I've got some connections with a local news station too, and I called the guy I know there, and I said, "Hey, you have any?" And he was like, "I'll look around," but no, they didn't have anything anymore. I don't know, where am I supposed to go now?
You can go back to Pearl, to the castle.
Oh, I have to cross the water. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get there because now I can. If I can get to the town, I can record some different shots for RGB episodes. I haven't had a good save in this game since buying a physical copy.
Yeah. What is the game that you're playing? We are playing Wonder Boy and Monster World. Do you get audio and S-video out of... yeah, actually each input has like a chain where you can chain out to another thing. Like I actually have... I put an extra card in mine so I can have both... I can have two separate inputs. So I have RGB, like BNC, going into one, and then component going into another one. But they all have out, like you can go in and chain it through to something else.
You're talking about the
so I actually have the component going in and then going out to my Toshiba CRT. So I can actually have the same thing on both screens at the same time. and I can kind of compare the differences between the two, which is kind of a cool little thing. I mean, in the 240p test suite episode, I do that when I kind of show the geometry between the two of them, where the 27-inch has like much worse geometry than the PVM. As you'll find with CRTs, geometry is like how like symmetrical the screen is. It's like a common thing for CRTs that, you know, we didn't notice it back when CRTs were the only thing we had access to. It's like the way that like it kind of stretches and squeezes as it gets to the edge of as like the image gets to the edge of the TV, and we just never noticed it because it was just what we always dealt with. So wait, so did you talk to the woman and drop off the ferry?
I have to drop off the ferry somewhere?
Well, you probably have to talk to the woman in the clouds again.
In the
ferry yard.
Oh, well, I got the ferry back from her. I don't know. That's why I say when I'm streaming, like I'm talking to the NPCs and the information just is not processed because I'm thinking about too many other things. But that's okay. I've got to save where I beat the boss, so that's good enough for now.
What consoles do we plan to cover in the RGB 200 series?
As much as we can.
Yeah, everything we can.
Like, I mean, everything up until...
everything we can afford.
Yeah, but I mean, everything up until its stuff is just HDMI. Like, I mean, you know, we want to cover PlayStation, PS2, and Xbox, GameCube. Those are probably a ways off because I think people might not have as much interest in that as the older consoles. And they aren't necessarily going in chronological order. I mean, right now we sort of are, but not entirely going. I mean, obviously NES came before Master System, but we're, you know, like N64 is, maybe it would surprise you, but probably our most requested topic. And so,
you know, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people once we get to it, I think.
You know, you can do something for it, but it's not a miracle. But because it's so requested, we're going to do that episode before we do a PlayStation episode, even though, you know, or Saturn, you know, even though chronologically that doesn't make sense, but just because it's so requested, we want to get it out there.
Yeah. Is S-Video plus XRGB Mini worth it if we don't want to bother with all the SCART madness?
That's what I started off doing. Like, I knew I wanted SCART for Genesis. But right. I started off like thinking like, I don't think
we started off with S-Video.
Yeah, I started off thinking like, I mean, the scaling looks so beautiful, even with S-Video. The colors are much more accurate, and everything does look cleaner and sharper with RGB on the Super Nintendo. But at first, I was like, I'm just going to keep on using S-Video and just get sharper pixels. And I thought it was awesome. I mean, I spent the money on the FrameMeister before I realized the value of RGB in and of itself.
Right.
And it was still worth it. And then I just got deeper into RGB. I was into it for the scaling and the sharp pixels, not so much for access to RGB. And I just learned more and more about RGB after I already had the FrameMeister. But I remember... because Retro Console Accessories on eBay, she was on vacation for a while when I was ready to buy my Super Nintendo cable, so I wasn't able to get it for a long time, and Coury got his and sent me a picture. I'm like, oh wow, this is actually a bit of a jump over S-Video. I did not expect that. It is a jump, but it's still, though, I don't think there's anything wrong with using S-Video with the FrameMeister if that's what you got. But I also think it's, you know, it's worth making the jump to RGB. Maybe you just want to buy one cable at a time or something like that. But it's complicated and messy, but the FrameMeister is still worth it if all you want to do is S-Video, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you know what? and you have the option to upgrade to RGB when you want to. And once, as we've kind of found, like once that you catch that bug, you like really
yeah, it just goes deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we just, you know, like I say, I bought the thing thinking I'm just going to keep playing my Super Nintendo NES video and it's going to look great. And it did, but I could do better, so I did better.
Is there any good way for demodulating and processing RF signals from very old consoles like the 2600 Odyssey? Just modding, as far as I know. I know that certain things like I know there's a 2600 RGB mod now, right? Or am I getting confused with something? I thought I saw somebody say that there's a 2600.
There is ColecoVision. To my knowledge, there's no 2600 mod, but I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into that yet.
Ben, are you working with Crix at all to do, like you say that you're trying to convince them to reverse engineer a GameCube component chip, which would be amazing. You realize like how many of those he would sell if like the first person to do that is just gonna like make so much bank probably.
Unless it costs the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
So this game was really freaking good. But interestingly, the default difficulty setting is, they call it easy, and it is not easy. And as far, I don't know if there's any difference other than the number of lives and continues you have. So I'm going to try it on normal. I beat it on easy because that was the default setting. Like I say, I do default settings, and it was not easy.
You played this pretty recently.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, pretty recently, it was like a year ago.
What the heck? The C button is pausing the game. Is this another issue with my controller extender going flaky on me here? It didn't used to give me problems.
That's pretty funny.
Now I can't move. Now I can't move left.
I would just unplug it and replug it back in.
That's what I'm doing, but it's not connecting correctly. Here we go.
Oh, okay. So Ben like has worked with Crix to do the EverDrives. I'm a big fan of EverDrives. I like to order from him when I can. Like I got my Mega EverDrive from him.
So this game, you got this recently, right?
Yes, I actually got a complete copy of it recently.
And my big splurge at too many games was buying Sparkster for the Super Nintendo, which is, you know, part of the same series. The Genesis Sparkster is a totally different game, which is also called Rocket Knight Adventures 2. I do want to own them all, though my suspicion is that this is definitely the best one, but I definitely want to have them all, and I'd like to do a little video on them when I do get the Genesis one. And there's, you know, there's like a PlayStation Network, I think Xbox Live Arcade as well, sequel, which I can't imagine is all that good, but I mean, maybe it is. I don't know.
Ben, if you can talk him into somehow offering shells for the Master EverDrive, I really want to get a Master System EverDrive. But Stone Age Gamer seems to be the only one that offers a shell with it. Just try not to have to do it on my own. Should talk him into that. Just for me specifically. Just bought an XRGB, easiest way to connect my NES2. Pretty much with NES2. NES2 is RF only, so you're going to have to get it modded.
Yeah,
even
or
just
have
for
some
composite.
I mean, you could do some sort of You could do some sort of RF to composite box, or you could run it through a VCR or something. But
right,
I mean, that is, I'm sorry, it's unfortunately, I think you're going to be disappointed. I mean, if you just want to see it and play it, like, that's all right, but don't expect that to look good.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Kevtris NES HDMI. Like, I think that the Kevtris NES HDMI was recently just released. I know that I just saw some videos on installing it.
Am I wrong in thinking that I heard...
He's the one that West Analog is using.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Something that's interesting is when you do the charge dash, you're invincible while you do it. And it took me a long time to get in the mindset of actually taking advantage of that.
Okay, so GameTech will be selling them very soon. I'm a big fan of GameTech's, like, his videos. Like, his just, like, modding and repair videos. That's something, like, I would have to, like, definitely like to try.
Yeah. Like, we'd
have to get, like, another NES.
We've talked about, like, we would like to do, like, an RGB 400 series eventually that's, like, actually about how you do mods. But
yeah,
we need to find the right person to team up with for that. Like,
yeah.
Either that or we have a lot to learn, and I don't foresee myself really learning that.
Right. And that's also something that might go under the Tips and Tweaks series that we recently started.
Right, and that we want to use Tips and Tweaks to, like, do, like, maybe show off some, like, sort of minor mods, not necessarily how to do it, but, you know, be like, hey, this is possible. Here's something that you can do. You know, and in a lot of ways, I feel like that was what. In a lot of ways, I feel like that was kind of part of the original inspiration for the RGB series. It was just like, I mean, I consider myself a knowledgeable person, and up until, like, you know, 2.5, 3 years ago, I had no idea that these systems, that my old, like, I thought that you could get, Super Nintendo was the be-all end-all, S-Video was the be-all end-all for Super Nintendo. I didn't know. I mean, I just, and so I think a lot of other people who consider themselves knowledgeable about retro consoles just had no idea, and that's why we made those videos, because, you know, so I mean, a lot of that Tips and Tweaks stuff, I think, will just be like, you know, hey, did you know you can mod a Sega Master System for having higher quality sound or something like that, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, the FM sound is not, like, higher. I mean, in some cases, it's a different sound.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I just got my Master System modded with FM sound, and I like it, but it's mainly just because more of a kind of curiosity.
Yeah.
I don't think it sounds...
Like, I mean, you know, I don't have the attachment to the Master System sounds that you do, but from the comparisons I've heard, like, I don't know, it, like, doesn't do that much for me, like, because I'm not, like, that obsessed with the Genesis chip, because you know, again, I didn't really grow up with it, so...
Mm.
So, and that's basically what it is just the Genesis chip in a Master System, right? If I'm not mistaken.
The what?
It's basically just the Genesis sound chip for the Master System, right? Sort of.
I don't know, you know, honestly. Like, I don't know the exact details of that. I don't think so.
Okay, it took...
I wish there was a way, like, I was just kind of researching. There's, like, no easy way to play Japanese Master System, like the Mark III games, on a US Master System. Like, somebody came up with, like, this board, like, years ago, but nobody really makes them anymore. But I mean, like the tips and tweaks series, which some of you might have seen, where we did like the Retron 5, like the translation patch. You know, like that's a series that we want to be able to kind of like, you know, they're formatted like the RGB series, but they're more like just kind of fun things you can do with your games.
And it might not even be like hardware stuff. Like we want to do like, you know, like something I want to do, and I still haven't really figured out what I want to do. I want to do one that's like, you know, what are some ideas on how to display like original Game Boy games? Because that can kind of be a problem. And I've been
like
just ideas like I mean, it's sort of ideas for just general ideas for your both for your systems and things you can do with your systems, as well as just your game room in general. Just ideas for maybe your setup, whether it's hardware or, you know, shelving.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. That's the thing that we're going to be working with Ben's product with.
Right. But, you know, just so those are just some ideas we want to get into.
Wasn't one of the Famicoms that outputs RGB like the Sharp Famicom or something? It's the titler. Yeah,
the Famicom titler. And now something that no one has called us out on this on the episode, and I think the wording is vague enough that it actually works. But apparently, and I read about this, like, but there's very little information out there about it, I think just because it's such an expensive system. Apparently, the picture processing unit is RGB, but it is not, like, you can't just, like, it doesn't just support RGB, like, straight out of the box. Like, you have to do some sort of mod, I believe.
I don't know.
Doesn't this just look so like a treasure game with, like, the little, like, ball segment monsters and stuff?
I mean, it
like,
really feels like it.
I really thought this was, like, pre-Treasure Konami. But it's not.
How can you play a game and wax on about specifics on a system at the same time? I don't know. Did you just see him? Did you see him playing Revenge of Shinobi earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I am surprised I got through the first level in that as well as I did, because it's not easy, actually. I had some trouble with that boss when I first started.
He's a veteran streamer. He's like good at this kind of stuff.
No, I'm really not, because
it's like 2007.
I am not a multitasker. So if I am doing well in a game, I'm probably not paying very much attention to the conversation at all. So as it is, I have a hard time forming my thoughts and getting them out of my mouth. So when I'm playing a game, it just makes it all the worse.
Have either of you tried the Game Boy player through an upscaler?
Yes.
Yeah,
there's
that's
some
kind
actually
of a
interesting things you can do there.
Yeah,
you know,
we're gonna kind of get into we're gonna do a portables episode eventually. When it comes to the Game Boy player, there's kind of some cool stuff you can do with this this homebrew program called Swiss,
and not just
that we definitely want to talk about.
And not just that, there's actually a custom, totally homebrew replacement for the Game Boy player boot up disc.
Yeah, called the Game Boy interface or something like that.
Now, I haven't tried it yet, and our concern with that is supposedly it might add a few frames of lag. I don't know if it's anything that would bother me all that much.
I've heard like 3 frames it adds.
I mean, that sounds pretty significant.
But the big thing is that if you ever noticed playing on a Game Boy player, just regularly, how it kind of anti-aliases the whole screen, like makes it kind of softer.
It runs it in 480i.
Yeah. But these homebrew programs can force it to 240p, like Super NES resolution.
And not just that, like, I mean, you can play Mario Sunshine in 240p if you want.
Yeah, but I mean,
anything. So it's really cool, and you know, in my mind, I would think like, well, it wouldn't like I would think like the pixels wouldn't line up correctly for it to like really look the way it should, but it does. Like it's pretty crazy. It looks really awesome. Now, unfortunately, you've only got S-video cables for GameCube, but I've got component cables. I did not pay a lot of money for them because I've owned them since their day, thankfully. So yeah, it looks great. You know, someone told us once that that the Game Boy player is like not very accurate or something in terms of like how I don't know, like the speed it runs the games. Like apparently Super Game Boy, more specifically the Japanese Super Game Boy 2, is supposedly the most accurate.
Right.
And so apparently and I do have one. Apparently that's the best way to play original Game Boy, but for Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance, someone said that there's no like really accurate way to do it. I don't know if I really buy into that. I think the Game Boy player does just fine. I think it looks really good forced to 240p, you know? So yeah. I really like it. I'm not super concerned about the accuracy of how well it does. I would still rather play a Game Boy Advance game on TV than play it on a Game Boy Advance, so...
Right. The Super Game Boy ran the games... Like, the original ran the games a little faster than they were originally, but then the Super Game Boy 2 fixed that.
Yeah, so I got one, and it's pretty cool, and I've done some tests, and I definitely am going to feature it in a future video. Yeah, it's neat. You know, like the difference is definitely there. Like you can run like a game demo and record it, and you'd be surprised how quickly it gets ahead. Now, I believe the reason for that is because the Super Game Boy 2's main feature is that it adds a link port. The reason for it was so that, you know, mainly so people could trade Pokemon. And obviously, I guess if you're linking to another Game Boy Advance, they have to be operating at the same speed. So I think that's why it's more accurate.
Oh.
It has to be more accurate because of that. I don't know if there was a reason that they made the original faster, like, were they like, oh yeah, let's make Game Boy games faster because they should be faster. It doesn't really make much sense, but...
There's a silly mod to take the Z80 from the Super Game Boy to replace the Z80 in a classic Game Boy so the Nintendo doesn't come up and goes directly into the game. That seems like a lot of effort. Just to skip a 3-second thing. The importer, we actually, like, we've been streaming on our Twitch channel. Like, it's kind of a weekly thing, or when we have a new episode out, we just kind of play and talk about the games from the episode. It's kind of like a bonus material. We've been doing it since the Mickey Mouse episode we did. Now we moved it here because it's more convenient. I think it's like a better way to reach our audience because obviously there's a lot more people here.
Watch Twitch or are on Twitch notifications.
Yeah, and obviously, like there's a lot of new people here that didn't show up in Twitch at all. Yeah, the Super Game Boy outputs through the uses the video out from the Super NES.
Yeah, like what I like to do is I make the border black and then I just zoom in the pixels like to fill the screen. It looks awesome.
Hamtaro, we want to do a RGB 300 level episode where it's like the Retrode versus the Framemeister.
Yeah.
Don't know when it's going to happen. I mean...
I'd like to do it sooner than later, but then there's about 50 episodes I have in mind that I'd like to do sooner than later. Like,
I mean, even like a weekly release schedule that we're going for, like we have
so
ideas.
So many ideas.
Yeah. And, you know, like it just comes down to timing, you know. We do as much as we can. And like the RGB episodes will be like every 3 weeks. The reason because of that is because they're just like a lot of work and we're like really burnt out by the time we finish them.
Yeah, it's... Oh, man.
But we're in a position because there's 2 of us on the channel that we're able to produce like our same quality episodes, but since each one of us like kind of do our own episodes, we each have 2 weeks to produce our episode. Like, so I just finished an episode. It would be 2 weeks before I would have to do another one.
But still, like, so much work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, getting an episode done in 2 weeks is not easy.
Right.
Especially when it comes to RGB.
Yeah. And those ones, like, for the most part, most of our episodes are pretty much feature just like one of us. Sometimes we both like appear in other like episodes together, but the RGB episodes we always appear together in them, except for the Master System
episode. Because I've never played a Master System.
But still, I think that going forward, even if we don't have a lot of experience with it, we should both appear in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, video editing like is definitely like I think our favorite part. Well, it's definitely my favorite part. But I mean, that's like what I do for a living.
I like all aspects of it. I mean, like, I like writing, I like shooting, I like editing. I mean, the on-camera part's probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
I like shooting, like, you know, B-roll shots and stuff. But I mean, I get tired of editing by the time I'm done editing, and I get tired of shooting by the time I'm done shooting. You know, so I mean, it's the variety. You know, it's moving from different aspects. It's not. I don't think like I would choose to like only do the editing or only do the shooting or something. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, because we have like that extra time to do it, I think it's one of the reasons we're able to. I mean, we definitely try to make our episodes look as good as we can. We do use a green screen. You set up and tear it down every time you shoot. I have one that I generally keep up. I used to do a set up and tear down every time, but my wife and I bought a house back in December, and it has like a furnished attic, which is like now kind of like it's my edit suite, game room, and I also have like a studio up there. And I still have one I can kind of pull it up and take it down, but I leave it up most of the time now because I just can. It's so far out of the way.
Yeah, I've got my green screen is kind of affixed to a wall, and I kind of see, it's funny, like, I got my green screen, like, a month or two before Coury came here to work on a project last September, and he brought his green screen just in case we needed to use it, and I was really jealous of it, and I kind of, like, I kind of just did a homemade solution for my green screen. Oh, no. Am I doing the whole lot? No, okay, it starts here. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm just getting sick of sitting on my...
But yeah, and I was, like, really jealous of your green screen. I can't... Like, mine's really hard to light evenly.
Sorry, I'm just kind of switching positions here.
Yeah, mine's not ideal, but I make it work. Obviously, I'm not using the green screen I'm going to be using for the rest of my life. I'll come up with another solution eventually, but I feel like I need to get my money's worth out of what I've done now.
Yeah. I didn't have room for a game room for the longest time. I mean, I lived in New York City for 10 years, and then only recently did we move, and then we were renting a house for a while, and I didn't even have much room in there. But now that when we bought a house in December. But, I mean, it's tough. I also have 2 kids, too. That's like, I kind of, like, it's good to have, like, everything in the attic, because that kind of keeps the kids, like, out of everything. Forcing your kids to share a bedroom so they can keep your game room. The picture you showed of your game room yesterday, Greg, it was like, looks amazing. Your setup is pretty awesome.
Oh man, game over. See, I think the way to do hard mode and normal mode in this is to like practice on easy mode until I've got the game down again. Like I should have just done it at the time, when I actually had the game down and could beat it, you know. But I mean, I don't think it's going to take me too long to relearn the game, and it was such a blast to play. I'm really looking forward to it. So it's 11 o'clock.
It is, yeah.
So that's good timing on that game over, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what we usually do: is we wrap it up right around 11. So it's like 2 hours.
Yeah. So, and, you know,
we like to view it as like kind of a real show, as opposed to just like sitting down and streaming. Even though, you know, we might do like other just impromptu streams here and there, but going forward, you can always count on us being here on Sunday nights and always like playing whatever was the most recent episode. We don't list the things on the channel, but they're in a playlist by themselves. We don't want them like cluttering up the like the video list, but they're still accessible. I mean, if you want to, you can go back and check out some of our old streams. It's like on the front page, it's in a playlist. But if you just go to like look at the video list, they won't show up there.
But yeah, so.
But anyone have any last questions? We got a little bit more time here as we wrap up. Look for a pretty neat episode coming up this Friday.
Yeah.
Sounds something you're definitely not expecting.
Yeah, it's for a series that's predominantly for a platform that we haven't really done much videos on before, but there's something pretty cool about the episode that I'm very excited about. It's going to be an important episode for us, I feel.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's also going to be pretty long. I've been having a hard time keeping my script short for it. So I'm going to be slaving away every evening this week to get this done right. I mean, in theory it shouldn't be a difficult episode, but it's going to be long. So I mean, there's always, you know, the issue of it just taking time out of nature of it being long. So
right.
No, this is not our full-time job. I would like for it to be someday, but we are a long ways from that right now. We tell all your friends, watch My Life in Gaming. Don't use ad block, because then we don't get money. Go to our Patreon. We have a Patreon account. You know, we have a Patreon account. You should.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like really talk about the Patreon account, but it is there, and it's all about like funding for.
Yeah,
RGB episodes.
Yeah, all the money in that. Like, I mean, we haven't had that long, so we haven't done anything. I mean, we've got the money and we've earned so far, and we've kind of just got it in a pool that we haven't withdrawn from yet. But as we need things, you know, whether it be equipment to just improve the look of the show or the sound of the show or the efficiency or whatever, or I think primarily for now, I think our focus is going to be on buying equipment or consoles that we need to fully cover them in the way we want to for RGB episodes primarily. Or tips and tweaks or something like that. Just, you know, stuff that would be difficult for us to, you know, just justify buying on our own. It'll go a long ways to, I think, getting certain RGB episodes. You know, there's several things we want to buy in particular, I think, regarding TurboGrafx/PC engine.
Right.
That, you know, that is an episode we are going to do, but it's a question of when and how thoroughly. And, you know, as we get money built up for covering the cost of what we need for that episode, you know, that episode will come all the sooner, you know, due to that, and there's just it's just so many other things we want to do. Just basically what it does is just increases the range of topics that we can talk about, just because we'll be able to have our hands on more equipment.
480p does work on over SCART with the Toro. It is being done. I believe it has something to do with sync on green.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works. Like, because we've got SCART Connect. The Toro takes 480p from the Dreamcast and then spits it out over SCART. My understanding is that there's no reason that SCART physically cannot handle 480p as part of its standard, and obviously the FrameMeister takes 480p over its RGB port to support that, because it is true 480p that it is receiving from the Dreamcast in that scenario. My understanding is it's a matter of the consoles not supporting 480p over SCART rather than SCART in and of itself not supporting 480p.
Yeah, I know there's a way to trick the PS2 into doing it, and it has something to do with sync on green.
Like, well, and yeah, for example, the PS2, it can output 480p, but it will not do it over SCART.
When we get to the PS2, we'll get more into it,
no.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I use SCART with my PS2 because I don't really care about 480p over it. I think I've got one game that supports 480p on the PS2. And to be honest,
you might actually have more. There's ways to do it, like a code to force it.
But like, I feel like the FrameMeister does such a good job of de-interlacing. Like, 480p like doesn't seem to make that big of a difference in the final image quality. I mean, I use it on the GameCube and I use it on the Xbox. You know, I use it, but it's like it's not that big of a deal to me to not use it on PS2. And I like. I mean, I think the colors look a little better with SCART rather than Component.
Yeah, Component has a little bit more noise. I think that somebody mentioned about the noise in the background. Like, there's definitely noise, a little bit of noise in over RGB. Like, it's just going to happen because it's an analog signal. Like, you're going to get some sort of noise no matter what.
And you can notice it more in
like on certain colors. You
colors.
See it.
Like I don't see it on the Genesis. I've heard some people have told me that they have trouble with noise on just. I don't know, maybe I just got a good Genesis, but I have no problems. Genesis is by far the cleanest looking of the consoles I had. Like, it just looks... It's not as powerful as the Super Nintendo, maybe. Maybe the Super Nintendo can display more colors, but the clarity of the signal on the Genesis is just unreal.
Yeah, there will definitely be an Dreamcast RGB episode.
Yeah.
Because we definitely need to cover that. Because we both use Toros now.
Yeah.
Like, the actual setup video that we did, like the 102, is fairly out of date for us. Well, especially for me at this point.
And even for me, I mean, I've added consoles that I did not have at the time.
Right. And not just that, but we've been talking about the idea of doing, like, point updates to certain videos where if there's something we didn't address enough that people were curious about, like having a 203.1 episode where we can like kind of talk a little bit more about it if we need to. So that's definitely what we have planned in the future. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate you checking us out. And look for us every Sunday, same time.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we have released an episode, even if we don't release an episode. Now, some people watching here, you may not, some of you might not know, we also release some content on another channel called Re-Res. The YouTube is youtube.com/ReresTV. And right now what our schedule with them is, we release one video every 3 weeks. Which means with our current intention to do weekly releases, one of those weeks is going to be a Re-Res episode. So there will be a video from us to watch, but it might not be on My Life in Gaming. That's what that's just what we're doing currently. That's our current schedule with them. But we will still on our channel here do an episode debrief
based on
the game or subject that we do there. And in fact, so this coming week is it's going to seem like I'm doing a lot of videos, but the reality is my next video for Re-Res is already done. So so it's going to be video from me on My Life in Gaming next week. This coming week on Friday. It's going to be a lot of work to get done, but if I don't have to, if I don't sleep Thursday night, that's okay. I am not even opening Twitter, instant messages, anything all night this week. I'm getting this thing done.
And then there's a Re-Res the week after that. Re-Res, an episode on Re-Res,
which is something I've already got finished and edited. That'll be on. They release on Re-Res. Our episodes there release on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So
and our videos are always Fridays at 8:30. They go live on our channel.
Yeah, officially they release at 9, but we call 8:30 early. So then the week after that, you know, unless Hideo Kojima commandeers my life, Super Nintendo RGB will be the week following.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we'll definitely we'll figure it out.
We'll get it. I don't think Super Nintendo's going to be that hard.
You never know. We say that every time.
It's going to be easier than NES. Like, NES, it was just
that was a big one. The Genesis was a lot more... Like, there was a lot more to it than...
You sound like you were having a lot of fun working on that episode. Like, you just sound, like, really in the zone with it.
Yeah, well, I knew I had to get it done before I traveled, for one thing. But... There's like a little bit...
You're just doing a lot of fun touches with it. You just seem to be enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah. So, by the way, just as a general rule for the RGB episodes, I'm handling Nintendo consoles. Coury's handling Sega consoles.
Yeah.
That might not hold 100% true as we go through it, but, you know... That's just a logical way to divide it up because I'm more of a Nintendo guy and he's more of a Sega guy, even though we both like both quite a bit.
Yeah. And as if there's anything that people want to think we should do in terms of like the 300 level episodes, we're definitely open to suggestions. So let us know.
Like right now, our focus is unquestionably on 200.
Yeah, but if we come up with other things we want to do,
like our big priorities before we started branching out even more was we felt it was really, really important to get done, especially NES, Genesis, and Super Nintendo. Like, we felt those were like kind of the key ones, and we wanted to start with Master System just because it was kind of a easy one to start with. Just sort of figure out what we wanted to do with that series, and it's just an easy system to deal with. But
yeah,
and I feel like we've kind of slighted PlayStation. Like, both of us are like, you know, especially, you know, in terms of modern games, we're like, you know, we like PlayStation. We play a lot of PlayStation games, but I feel like we haven't really given it a lot of love on the channel. Not as much as I feel like it would have made sense.
Yeah, we don't have any real bias. We just like good games.
No. I mean, I'm only just now, like, I only just got an original Xbox. You know, I guess I've had biases in the past, but I just got an original Xbox, and I want to start building a small Xbox 360 collection. And you know, right now it's kind of up in the air whether the smarter route for that for me is going to be getting a 360 or getting an Xbox One. It depends on whether Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon get confirmed for Xbox One backwards compatibility. That's
yeah.
If they do, then I'll be willing to buy an Xbox One if I find it for a good deal.
So that's probably your next purchase, is one of those two.
Yeah, like
I almost bought a 3DO yesterday.
Really?
It was like in the box and everything. It was $160.
How much?
$160.
Like, in my mind, I feel like I would rather buy the console not in the box.
I know, it's like
because I don't want. I'd rather pay less money. Like, my Famicom 3D system was kind of a special exception to that because it was a great deal anyway, and include the. Oh gosh, I'm super happy with that purchase. Like, I was just in the right place at the right time to get that system. Like, that was a good situation.
It was a flip top. I think that, like, the Goldstar, I think, is the non-motorized one. I mean, I would want one just for best version of Road
Difference
Rash.
in picture quality on playing on original PlayStation versus PS3. PS3 softens the image, and I don't, you know, I remember when
even though it looks really good.
It looks really good, don't get me wrong. And at first, like, I thought, this is it. This is perfect. Like, I was playing on HD CRT, which is, well, we'll probably talk about a bit in our upcoming CRT RGB episode. But that's not necessary. HD CRTs are interesting. But at the time, I thought I had like the best thing in the world because CRTs, you know, LCD screens weren't up to snuff in terms of like black levels and stuff. Now, I mean, I thought CRT was a thing. So anyway, I had an HD CRT, and at the time, I just like, this is perfectly sharp. Like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Playing PS1 games on PS3. But on closer inspection, especially after you get used to the FrameMeister, I don't know why. I don't know why it's not perfectly razor sharp, but it does soften it a little bit. But PS1 versus PS2, there's like a minor color variation that I've seen in some of the testing I've done, but I couldn't really say which one is truer, if one is really better or worse. Like, they're just different, using the SCART cable from either one, but you get the same sharpness of the image regardless of which one you do. So just for convenience, right now, I put my PlayStation 1 away and I'm playing my US PS1 games on my PS2, and so that I have room to put out a Japanese PS1 so I can play Japanese PS1 games, of which I only have 2 so far, but
I have a modded system. Neo Geo, like, we actually are doing a Neo Geo RGB episode. It'll probably be the one after the Super NES, actually, because I have a couple of friends who have every single, like, between the two of them, every single version of it.
So we don't even really need to. Now that's a nice situation where we don't have to.
Yeah, I want to get one myself anyways. But that's further down the line. Yeah. I can't afford it yet.
Well, I guess should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming.
Yep.
And watching, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Keep an eye out for our Friday episode. Like we said, it's going to be. It's. There's definitely something cool about that episode. We haven't done anything like it before. We even if you have not played the game or series that it's about. I hope you'll watch it because I'm going to put a lot of work into it, and it's been a cool experience having this episode come together. And you'll understand why when you see it.
Right. So, all right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.